I decided to do something quite brave, even though I feel like this is much more brave, ironically. But a couple of months ago, I did something even more terrifying. I went speed dating, and I actually went naked speed dating. Right. Yeah. And that's a real thing that you can do in London, just so you know. So, yeah, you can do anything in London. Yeah, and it's exactly how it sounds. You're like at tables, like, let's imagine that everyone in this room was naked and single. It's just like that, really. And you basically, meet the person, the whistle goes, and then, whoa, go to the next table. And, yeah, it's just like speed dating. Anyway, and had a hilarious time. It was brilliant. And I decided, as an actor, that I couldn't really, put into words my experience. So I decided to write some spoken word poetry. Yeah, of course, it's natural. And so I would like to share some of that with you tonight, if you don't mind. And this is my poem, titled Bed. The whistle blows and off goes the gown. Fuck. What is he thinking? Is that a frown? Has he noticed the irregular shape of my tits, or is he sat there more worried about his bits? Because it's clear that the room is a little too chilly, and it's probably affecting the size of his willy. Not that I really had a good chance to stare. We shook hands, had a giggle, sat down on our chairs, and I sit there thinking, shit, this guy's hot. The conversation flows and we talk about a lot. The whistle blows again and the guys all change place, and I have to remind myself, Georgie, look at their face. One guy tells me, oh, I write for The Sun. And I'm waiting for the punchline to this god-awful pun, but no, he is indeed there writing a story, hoping whilst he does it to avoid getting a morning glory. Another guy sits down and guesses my profession, which I have to admit leaves a good first impression. Another cannot lift his eyes from my chest, and I sit there thinking, mate, give it a rest. For in the room there's this vague understanding that you take a quick look as soon as you're standing, but when you sit down, you just get on with the chat and try to avoid coming across like a complete twat. So, I'm meeting all sorts of guys from all walks of life, and you never know, I might end up someone's wife, because Lord knows that'd be a story to tell when we're wed, that we saw each other naked before we jumped into bed. And we'd tell our grandchildren, oh, we were pretty bloody bold, and they'd sit there wishing that they'd never been told. And we'd say, kids, always live life to the full, and if you get your kit off, it's much easier to pull. But back to tonight, and the guys just keep changing, and my bloody boobs I have to keep rearranging. I mean, what are you supposed to do with them, really? Hold them, cup them, leave them be, clearly. But it's hard to relax and let everyone see when you know you've got both a C and a D. So this weird little circus continues until 10, ticking yes or no with your paper and pen. And when it's all finished, I put back on my dress and wonder how many guys gave me a yes. Down to the bar for a clothed drink this time. Another G&T, a double, extra lime. How weird to see them all in jeans and a shirt. A different game begins, a new way to flirt. And I take a quick glance down at their shoes, knowing this is fundamental to who I might choose, because it's all very well to possess the big whopper, but I'm not interested if you're a terrible shopper. So we drink and we laugh, and I hand out my number, and when tucked up in bed, drift into a deep, peaceful, slightly drunken slumber. For the evening's antics have completely worn me out. A night to remember without a doubt. For an evening like that, you're never quite prepared. Body and soul completely bared. Yeah!